right to be wary of this place. But it's your birthright, and I think after everything you've been through, you can handle it now. The two of you, as well as your mother, are the last of your kind, of blood. Your lineage follows an unbroken line to the old gods themselves. And if you call upon them, you might just find they're actually listening. They won't work miracles for you, but their blessings can be quite useful in the right circumstance. Why don't you ask the goddess Ashtur for her aid in dealing with that barrier over there?
Blessings of the goddess.
After all this time, it's still just as beautiful as the first time I laid eyes on it. It's hard to believe Lilith and Caretaker brought this place all the way from Transia. Of course, it was no coincidence that they wound up so close to Salem. This area is particularly attuned to the forces of magic. That's why the Elder God's influence was so prevalent here. And why our sanctuary here has remained all but impregnable over the centuries. And now I'm rambling on like an old sorcerer supreme. Why don't you come see me in the library tomorrow night? Oh, and let's keep this just between the two of us for now. I'm afraid Sarah, Caretaker, isn't ready to see me yet. Good night, Hunter.
Is this thing on? Hunter, please come to the forge at your earliest convenience. Again, that's Hunter to the forge. Thank you. Strange out.
Intriguing.
Hunter, just in time. His royal weirdness and I were deciding what to do with that nasty little Hydra gift box you found.
Ah, yes. The spooky crate.
The very one. Though it is far from any mere container, I assure you.
I am detecting powerful emanations from inside. If this is a sign of what Hydra is after, I fear we are all in grave danger.
My offer still stands. I could fly the thing up and nuke it in orbit. Only way to be sure.
Or we could open it, Tony, and perhaps use the mystical energies I sense inside to our advantage.
Yeah, I heard a we in there. Green goopy gamma serums are one thing. I'm not opening boxes full of mummy curses.
You don't have to. Hunter, if you'll allow me.
Your second funeral, boss. Welcome to Tony's Scary Demon Cave. I'm Tony, and how may I assist you today? Got some upgrades for you, hot off the press. Or forge. I'm pretty sure Charlie left a steaming coil in the hallway. Third state of matter, indeed.
I'm happy to help, Hunter. If Hydra is now working to acquire mystical antiquities, then our situation is very dire indeed. We need to find a way to gain the upper hand.
And you think you can do it with whatever is in the container?
Tony has one of the greatest scientific minds that I've ever seen. I, of course, have an unparalleled understanding of the mystic arts. I have no doubt that we can find a way to research whatever we find in there and have it work in our favor. I just wonder what it could be.
I hope the two of you create something powerful. I want to stop Lilith quickly and decisively.
As I said, I'm sure it can help us. I just need to convince Tony to set his ego aside. His discomfort with the esoteric nature of the arcane might be a problem.
But Tony's eccentricities aside, I know you can make this work.
Right now, with the sanctum out of my reach, I'm fighting with one hand tied behind my back. Metaphorically, that is. If I can find items to research, I can give the Midnight Suns every possible advantage over Lilith and her disciples.
I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Me too, Hunter. Now, all this talk is going nowhere unless we can get this container open and study what's inside. Approach the anvil, Hunter. We do not have time to spare. Knowing how selective the Suns can be, what have you brought me today? It's fortunate that we haven't run into any curses yet. By the hoary hosts of Hoggoth, I can hardly believe it.
What? Is it worse than you expected?
No, it's totally unexpected. It's the Eternity Dagger. This was in a place of honor in my bedchamber in the Sanctum for years. The Sanctum Sanctorum is no common domicile to be burglared. These barbarians have no idea what they possessed.
Or perhaps they did. Maybe these artifacts are exactly what Faustus and my mother were after to begin with.
A distressing thought. If they had my dagger, then who knows what others of my priceless possessions have passed through their greedy fingers. The cube of nothingness. The tear of Profia, and most worrisome of all...
Your toothbrush? You, had a little coffee thing going on this morning with your breath?
Oh, Tony.
Sorry. Doc's right, Hunter. I drank 3 glasses of holy water just to walk through the Sanctum's front door. Place is like a doomsday vault for all sorts of supernatural nastiness. We need to put a lid on this mess. Pronto.
I believe Carol is already working on it.
At last. Now that this artifact has been returned to its proper owner, we shall see if we can make use of the mystic forces contained within. To be fair, it does look interesting, at least. That caught my eye as well.
I'm here if you need me.
Hey, Hunter. Got a sec to spare? You've been here more in the past few days than I have since... ever. The forge is pretty badass, but the creature trapped inside riles up my own inner demon. Speaking of, there's something you should know about me.
You are bonded with the spirit of vengeance?
Damn, you're good. How could you tell?
You are not the first spirit of vengeance to join the Midnight Suns. I fought beside another just a few days... 3 centuries ago.
Oh man, sometimes when I have crap to work through, I like to get my blood pumping. Why don't we hit the yard for a sparring session? I know Sparky's excited to meet you.
Sparky?
That's what I call my spirit of vengeance. His real name is something you'd see written on a symbol, but with like 12 apostrophes. Also, he's not allowed inside after the incident with caretaker Sumerian Sofa.
It would be my honor to spar with a spirit of vengeance.
Wow, he's real excited. Never thought he'd get bouncy, but here we are. Okay, let's do this. I'll get Blake to set things up. Won't take a minute.
I will head to the yard. When you and Sparky trade places, what does he look like?
He's the guy with the flaming metal skull and hellfire chains. Kinda hard to miss.
Hunter, ready to get your burn on? I'm talking training with Ghost Rider.
Spirits of vengeance. Like playing with fire, huh? Hellfire forges the strong.
Nice to get some fresh air. Hardly any cobwebs or ghosts out here. Practice makes perfect.
Hunter, report to the war room. We've got a mission.
See you around.
You called for me, Captain?
Keep telling ya, Carol works too, but yeah, I did. Now that Tony's finally starting to get a handle on his gremlin problem, I've been able to put Central to good use. Got a lead on some particularly gnarly Hydra operations happening in the city. But we need to move fast if we want to intercept them in time.
Then let us get going.
My thoughts exactly. There's just one problem, though. We seem to have lost our gatekeeper, Magic.
Lost?
Well, I updated her on the mission. She said something I can only assume to be a prolific swear word in Russian and disappeared. Literally. And with no magic...
There is no passage to New York, or anywhere for that matter.
Now you see my problem.
Do not worry, Captain. I will locate and alert her of the team's needs.
There's that can-do, get-it-done, old-timey prophesied savior of humanity attitude I was hoping to see today. Still, you better hurry. Not sure how long Hydra will remain in their current position.
Then I shall make haste.
Yes, you hasten as much as you can, Hunter. Not much more I can tell you, Hunter. Though I did hear her mutter something about Wanda right before she poofed away. Maybe that helps.
Thanks, Captain. I shall find her.